Hey. I know that this case is hurting you in more ways than one, and this sense of urgency is reasonable, but please take care of yourself too. I know you're getting closer to finding out, but it'll be all for naught if you end up starving and dying before you solve it. Didn't she tell you to take care of yourself? Here. It's your favorite. I always see Miss Rhina ordering this for you, so I went to go get it for you, although it was far. Hey, at least get something to eat, okay? Good. Yeah? The locations of the bodies of the victims. Is this... Sure. Do you think there's any significance? It seems like you're starting to fit the puzzle pieces together. I'll go get the files. For the meantime, eat. Miss Rhina's definitely scolding you. Now that you mention it, it is pointing to some kind of destination. Oh, it's... Miss Rhina's company? What does this mean? Who is it? That is vile. Using her number. Hi, Miss Genius Detective. Come on, no need for such hostility. We haven't talked in a while, right? I missed you. Oh, dear me. What I want. I wonder. Of course, I'd like to see you try, Miss Genius Detective. Oh, I'm guessing you've started to pick up on the clues I left for you. Of course I did that on purpose. I just want to see how good you are. Your defenses are quite low, though. Why don't you hurry up and fight me, then? Fine, then. Not that it's a crime for me to be using her phone anyway. Alright. See you when I see you. Michelle. Did you get anything from that? She works at Rhina's company. How so? What if it's another bluff of hers? I guess you're right. We have to take what we can get. But if she ends up just being a normal office lady and is one of Rhina's co-workers, that's... it's more evil. Alright, I'll check the area over here. You check the one where... Oh. Are you sure? Is it not too early? Just call me if you need anything, okay? Radio me? Okay. Stay safe.
Oh, hello. Apologies, Master says. One chance. Don't let it slip. Identity revelation possibility rate, 50%. Affirmative. Failure of choice. Result. Explosion. Building. Explosion. Input name. Here. Identity will be checked. If affirmative. Gather clues. Obvious. Master says. Confirm input. Result. Calculating. Correct. Follow to destination. Proceeding. Please follow.
I'm really sorry, but the boss is busy right now. Hey, I just want to talk about a certain employee, and I just want to talk to your boss. Oh, what are you...
Not another one.
What's going on?
Oh, yes, boss. Oh. You may enter.
Both of us?
And she says the second one, so...
You then.
Go on.
Mm-hmm. Careful. We finally meet. Or should I say, it's been a while, darling. I knew you would figure it out, and you did. Well, I did help, a little bit. My death was a fluke, of course. See, I wanted to kill her off. Yes, but I hesitated. Honestly, I don't know. Seeing you like that, in that state. I usually enjoyed playing with people like that. But, for some reason, it made my heart ache. Of course you won't believe me. That's understandable. The torment I made you go through, not to mention the betrayal. It was all supposed to be just me killing time as usual, I suppose. A bit more than I can chew. And yes, this is how my voice is normally sounding. That was simply a front that I had to use because I don't want you to realize that it's me. I'll explain it to you, don't worry. Everything. It's your choice to believe me or not. I won't run away. In the end, you'll decide what my fate will be. Let's see, should I start as to how I got interested in you? Or rather, how I came to know you? The truth is, I'm not the real Fleur de Malheur. But I'm sure you've figured that out already, haven't you? Or you were suspicious, at least. As for what happened to the real one... Of course you catch on quick. You are the genius detective, are you not? And yes, your assumption is correct. I did kill her. It was for the bounty. You see, I belong to a society that has bounties on killers that are on the loose. You could say that I'm a hit woman, to an extent. And well, Fleur de Malheur just happened to have a big number on her head. The higher the figure, the harder it is to catch the individual. It looked like a challenge. I was bored, you see. So I decided to take the bounty. Me? My identity? You don't have me in your records, darling. I don't have a name there. It means I'm not in your system because my crimes were never sniffed out by any of you. Because I don't leave any trace. In terms of my name in our little society, they usually call me the Vanishing Mist. For obvious reasons. Not really that good of a nickname, right? Their naming sense is quite different from yours. Staying true to that name, I did stop being a hit woman for a certain amount of time, and vanished. People questioned whether I was finally caught, because of how non-existent my presence started to be. But that's not the case at all. I had other matters to attend to, and doing the whole double identity thing was getting tiring. And then I got bored again, and took on that bounty that everyone was seemingly describing as hard to accomplish. So I went with it. I observed how she acted, from her daily schedules to the people trying to catch her, her environment, the people involved with her, her habits, everything. That's when I had the brightest idea. You know how that went. Usually I'd leave no trace at all, but I had to keep up her image of leaving flowers at the crime scenes. I studied a lot on flowers before I posed as her, though. Because I wanted to kill time. Owning a multi-million company gets boring, and all you're looking at are data sheets or bland reports from multiple stakeholders wanting to collaborate with you. But overall, the main reason was to get close to you. I wonder why. You piqued my interest. As I researched more as to who this Fleur de Malheur person was, I stumbled upon a certain detective. So I got curious. In terms of the direction you were going during that time, you weren't far off from catching her. You were actually close to knowing her true identity. Our first meeting with me posing as the Flower of Doom. Did it finally click? That robot wasn't entirely made out of screws and mech. It needed a person inside of it, acting as a skeleton, you might say. A vessel. She couldn't do anything, really. She was screaming, but of course the only thing you heard was the voice of the robot instead. Or rather, the voice I recorded for it to say. You know, I kind of feel bad. I mean, she was technically doing the world a favor by getting rid of privileged people that didn't get the punishment they deserve, right? I guess so. In the end, she turned into something she hated. A criminal herself. Me? Ah, yes. I have self-awareness. You don't need to remind me. I'm fully aware of the actions I've made throughout my life and know that I'm not innocent either. You know what's ironic? She was aiming for me next. You see, although my presence as this incognito killer isn't known, my father also had a couple of crimes he wasn't punished for. The problem is, he's dead. So who's to pay? Apparently, according to her own judgment, I had to pay. That's such an interesting coincidence, is it not? It makes you wonder, is everything predetermined? We were actually connected from the start. But now you're probably wondering, how did I get connected to you? It's not anything special, really. It's not the typical, oh, I've met you before when we were kids type of bullshit. Our first meeting was actually the time I got lost. Yes, is your beloved Rhina. Did you think it was a coincidence? No, I was still doing my research about the Flower of Doom. Observing the people involved with her wasn't exactly necessary, but as I said before, I was curious about you. So I posed as this innocent office lady, Rhina Turman. I heard the rookie prodigy was celebrating something. That is helpful to me since it matched with a detective that was on Fleur de Malheur's tail. What I did not expect was for you to take a sudden interest in me. It was convenient for me and my plan, though. It made things much easier. I know. You didn't disclose information. I was simply observing you. That in itself is considered gathering info to me. When did I start to pose as her? I wonder. You should know this already. Correct. That was the start of where I posed as her, the day I introduced you to the so-called robot, which was actually the real Fleur de Malheur inside. Yes, I was already posing as Fleur de Malheur when I confronted you during that time. Shortly after, we became a couple. I mean, it happened after I met you using that robot, right? It's cruel, I know. My curiosity towards you, perhaps. Or rather, my interest in detectives in general. I just wanted to know how they worked, how they solved such crimes, to observe in a position that wasn't too close but not that far either. It was also to avoid getting caught. By understanding your strategies, I could bypass it and avoid doing such acts that could lead me to get caught. Like I said, it was just me trying to kill time. That is what it was all supposed to be. But mere curiosity turned to interest. Interest got me involved with you, and the involvement made me closer with you. And that certain closeness then turned into what you call love. You wouldn't believe it, right? I won't ask for your forgiveness. After all that, you wouldn't let me off that easily, right? Manipulating you like that, having complete control of the situation from both sides. Nonetheless, you wouldn't be here if you didn't figure it out already, right? You guessed it right after all. Honestly, I really wanted to stop after realizing it. But I didn't want to lose you. Even though I posed as Rhina, a persona I meticulously created to mess with you, the moments I shared with you had turned into something precious for me without me knowing. I didn't want it to end. Even though it was for the sake of using you, my resolve started to waver as I got to know you more. You were someone I didn't know I needed. You treated me so kindly without knowing I would betray you one day like this, giving me your full trust. At first, it was fun messing with you. I'm not going to lie. But as time passed and we got to spend more time together, me pretending to have fun turned into me genuinely liking your company. It wasn't a part of my plan. I never intended for any of this to happen. I was supposed to get rid of you when I got tired of you. It was easy for me to do so, and yet I never did. And I kept wondering and wondering why I never did. Because you became an important person to me. You showed me what love is. Your genuine acts of kindness towards me made me feel things I never felt before. Because no one has ever done anything like that to me before. I mean, yes, there were instances where people did treat me kindly, but it always felt that it was because they needed something from me. You, however, even knowing I was but a normal office lady with nothing remarkable to bring you, treated me disgustingly nicely. I hated it. I hated it because it made me feel guilty for doing such a cruel thing to you. Even though you're usually level-headed and follow your head instead of your heart, when it comes to me, I'd noticed you'd easily get swept away by your emotions. The way you looked at me as if you'd throw everything away just for me to be safe. It wasn't fair. The way you'd always find a solution for everything despite being pushed around to the brink of being beat down. You never gave up. You have the talent and brains, but besides that, you were also the most hardworking person I knew. You taught me that despite everything wrong in this world, there will always be someone out there that will make it better. And there's always a solution to solve everything. You were never the type to express your emotions so openly. But you learned how to do that because of me. I didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to do any of that. I didn't mean to do that for you. I got too close, and I paid the price for it. I realized too late, but instead of turning myself in and confessing, instead of choosing the right option, I wanted to be with you a little longer, even if one day you were going to hate me. That's when I proposed to you. I never expected you to do the same thing, though. Or maybe I did. At that point, there was no turning back for me anymore. I just wanted to bask in this happiness that I had for a little while longer. I had to keep up the act, until the day it all comes crashing down on me. You must have noticed when I started to get sloppy, right? The clues piled up, right? Those are most likely the after effects of me getting too caught up with being with you. I know. That was intentional. The Rhina getting kidnapped incident. In a sense, that was supposed to be me redeeming myself, but it turned into a more wicked way of torture for you. All my guilt overwhelmed me. Miss Ivy. I intended to kill her too. I thought I wouldn't want her to take you away from me. Simply put, I was jealous. That was supposed to be my goodbye to you. Or planned to be. I wanted you to quit everything altogether. You can tell my mind was a mess. Touche. I guess I was never sane to begin with, but I was in a worse state. No, or probably even now. Ivy's death was supposed to force you to retire. Alright. And that would also make you alone. But wouldn't it make you retire too? Losing both your fiancé and partner at the same time? I know. I was supposed to kill her off first, then fake mine, and then destroy the evidence by blowing everything up after I ran away. Seeing your expression made my heart ache. I told you so before, right? I really was planning on killing her, but stopped. I don't know. Maybe a saint touched my shoulder and told me to. Rather, a sense of rationality washed over my mind, probably. If I were to leave you, wouldn't it be better for someone trustworthy to take care of you instead? If anyone was going to take you away, I'd rather it be someone you trust rather than a complete stranger. So instead of the initial plan, I let her go instead. I was supposed to stop everything altogether by then. I thought, I need to let you go. I can't keep manipulating you anymore. The guilt was eating me up so much that I couldn't think well anymore. And so that's what I did. That's why I did what I did. I thought after that traumatic experience you'd stop everything. Yet you returned to the battlefield not too long after, as if nothing happened, even when I stopped doing my crimes as her. You were persistent. You still kept going. Of course. I knew you were going to. Deep in my heart I knew, because I know what kind of person you are. But the closer it got to the truth, the clearer it became, right? I needed to pay for what I've done. I realized that. That's why I decided to call you. You already figured it out by then, I assume. But that's not where I'm going to end this. I'll let you end this yourself. I'll finally let you have control. You have been dancing in the palm of my hand this whole time. This is the least I can do for you. I'll let you choose. Kill me here now, or let me go. If you choose to turn me in, I'll end myself here. It is. I deserve death for my actions. Do you think people would be satisfied to see me imprisoned for everything I've done? Would you be okay with just that? Surely I deserve much worse, correct? And what's worse than getting killed by the person you love? Wouldn't that be perfect? Speaking as a true detective, aren't we? The evidence? I left it all in our apartment. I see you never came back home. I knew you weren't, so I put them all in there. Everything is there, my confessions, everything, my fingerprints, everything. Now it's time for you to choose. If you don't want to kill me, I'll do it myself if it's too difficult for you. If you let me go, which is highly unlikely to happen, but in the case it does, I'll never show myself to you. I'll disappear from your life. You could still turn in the evidence, if you'd like, if that's what you want. But I doubt you'll ever catch me. Don't worry. I'll stop my crimes altogether. Everything. I'll stop everything. But I doubt I'll ever live happily again. You wouldn't want that, would you? I did. I prepared for every possible outcome that I could think of. Go on. I already know your answer anyway, but for formality, what is it that you decide to choose to do, darling?